go ahead and get into our situation. I'm messing with a new music widget up there at the top there. So if it seems if it seems a little off than what you guys are used to, that's kind of why. But excuse me, we'll see how it works out, and we'll get through this. Anyway, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the newsroom, and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report, brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company. Let's go. Now, theoretically, this is really the LOLCOW report, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? We don't worry too much about semantics here unless it has something to do with somebody else, because I'm a hypocrite, as you guys know. Anywho, hopefully you guys are doing well. Quick PSA and whatnot. This right here is probably not going to come out until the end of May, if not in June. I've been off for the last few weeks, actually. Most of the members here at GTG Network and Productions have been off. So a lot of the videos that you guys have saw, actually, to be honest, I think every video you guys saw in May was stuff that we had stocked up, if you will. We had banked and whatnot. Originally, we weren't going to take time off until June, but we decided that some of the members really wanted to go now. So we already had all the material recorded and edited and so on and so forth. So it was an easy thing to do. There'll probably be another hiatus or two later on in the year, but you'll see it when you see it. But it should probably be a seamless transition. I am now just starting to get back into the recording grind. To be honest, it's been nice taking some time off and whatnot. A lot has happened and whatnot, so I've got a lot of catching up to do, but always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on, just sticking to the motto. So that's the thing. So to start off my campaign, we're going to talk a little bit about LOLCOW Live. Now, I know. It's scripted, it's boring. A lot of people believe that it's finally dying out. Fat Camp was the proverbial knife to the heart, so to speak, that is leading to its downfall. I do believe that to some extent. I also believe that Keem is going to do anything and everything to keep it going because, not because he believes in LOLCOWs, because he's tasted early success and he's not ready to give it up. Now, with that being said, most people will tell you that, oh, he's just trying to compete with Ethan Klein or H3H3 because they've been beefing on and off for years, and he's just trying to have his own version of that podcast. And that's not really the case. What Keem has been trying to do is basically corner the market on LOLCOWs and really be able to monetize and, truth be told, karma or a content farm these drama communities by bringing in those LOLCOWs to do so. And it hasn't really worked, and there's various reasons for that. In any case, there's been a recent drama that happened on the 22nd of May, or the 23rd. And that's what we're going to actually go over that now. But let me give you guys a bit of a preface, because you know me, I like to talk too much, so it's a thing. So let's go into my favorite segment. Hopefully, your guys' favorite segment. Sorry, I'm a bit out of practice, and we've changed some of the aesthetics around as of late. Yeah. Okay, where are you at? Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my favorite segment. Hopefully, your favorite segment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. And big ups to Chio. So, what are we going to go over today? Well, apparently there was a blow up on the 22nd or 23rd as frustrations have been building between the king of the LCU, KEEMSTAR, and its owner and whatnot, or the head, whatever. You know what I mean? The owner and shit like that. I was going to say something else. I'm going to hold it to myself right now. And the queen of the LOLCOWs, Becky Boop, apparently there was a blow up over the fact that a member / former member of LOLCOW Queens, I believe, Roxy, might have been Roxy, don't hold me to that now. Her husband got into a spot where he looked like he was going to die, to be honest with you. He was in the hospital. They didn't know exactly what his condition was. If you frequent the LOLCOW Discord, information was kind of coming in, and some people decided to take some shots at it, decided to joke about it. If you've been in the LOLCOW Discord, that shouldn't surprise any of you. There isn't anything really off limits except anything that hits Keem a little too far under the belt. Anywho, they started to joke about this woman, well, this woman's husband potentially dying. This would have been, this is Becky and Tina on LOLCOW Queens. Some people in the audience took umbrage to that. Some people in the Discord had a problem with it. Allegedly, they lost some subs, this, that, and third. LOLCOW Live doesn't have really shit going on, so Keem, Boogie, and the other guy, Raskoff, whatever his name is, he was, they decided to speak on it to, is it Rasthoff or whatever? His name will pop up in a minute. He took some real issue with it because his mother died. I believe she died of some type of cancer. R.I.P. to her. And he felt a certain type of way about it. He thought it was a classless, tasteless type situation. Now, to that individual in question, maybe you haven't been paying enough attention of where you're at. See, on LOLCOW Aussies, where this guy is originally from, they probably didn't cut too deep like that. But for the rest of the LCU, pretty much this is all par for the course. Don't let Keem try to go ahead and push his moral bullshit out and act like he gave a fuck about that woman and her dying husband. Or at the time they thought he was dying. Same thing with Boogie. Well, Boogie's a pathological liar. You shouldn't believe anything coming out of his mouth anyway. You do seem like to be the only person that has something very rare amongst the LCU that most people don't have, already sold out, or already gave up: a conscience. And you're not going to have it for too much longer if you keep fucking around over there. But that's all right. Every angel has to get their wings clipped eventually, and I am very anxious and eager to see your downfall. Not because I have anything against you personally. It's because you're over there with people that are clearly scumbags. And I get it, you know, you cried to keep that show and keep your opportunity going and so on and so forth. Most people would give you some type of charity for that. I won't. I won't. You ain't sat there and chose to dance with the devil, and whatever comes out of it and whatever sticks to you after the fact, you're going to hold on to. Actually, as I use that analogy of you dancing with the devil, it's interesting that that KEEMSTAR is very eager to brand you. Ain't that strange? I mean, it's bad enough that Keem is only doing this because fucking Rich, you know what I'm saying, who's probably the top dent tractor around these parts, as far as I'm concerned. He definitely should get dent tractor of the year. Duty's out of I think Duty has nothing to worry about now. For sure, fucking Rich should get that shit for what he did. We'll talk about that later, but the fact that you would brand yourself with DSP's face and think just because you have some Castlevania aesthetics go along with it makes it just one big joke and ain't that serious, but you would brand yourself before your kids. And you know what I'm saying? Lauren is whatever. You know what I'm saying? She's just the one that birthed them. She doesn't really have any value to you anyway, right, Rich? Right, Rich? Right. But the fact that you would sit there and brand yourself with DSP's face before your own children is fucking amazing. And the fact that you're mad that initially thought this whole thing was going to go viral, it was going to be all one just big LARP, and then come to find out people are looking at you like, yo, what's wrong with you, man? Like, you're mentally ill. You've gone too far. Fred Fucks didn't fucking get himself a DSP tattoo. Duty doesn't have a DSP tattoo, as far as I know. I don't know anybody who does that. I don't even know if DSP's top dent has You are DSP's top dent. Never mind. Darridge, let's say that, his top pedophile. I don't think even DSP's top pedo has a DSP tattoo, but you do. That's just crazy. Anywho, this guy in particular, the third chair, so Rasthoff, whatever his name is, it'll come up in a minute. But Keem was talking about him getting a tattoo with the LOLCOW Live logo on it. Why does he want to brand you, my guy? Why does KEEMSTAR want to brand you? Keem doesn't have a LOLCOW tattoo. Boogie don't have a LOLCOW tattoo. None of the other fucking people over there have a LOLCOW tattoo of either the LCU or of whatever show in particular that they're on. But why does he want to brand you? Because if he brands your ass, then he'll eventually be able to brand everybody else. Oh, hey, look at this. He's a team player. Look, we raised the money through our audience, just like Rich did, to get him a tattoo of LOLCOW Live because he is the third seat, despite the fact, according to what I've heard, a lot of people say you're boring. A lot of people say you're just too nice to be up there. A lot of people say you really should go back to Aussie because you seem to have a lot more fun on LOLCOW Aussie than you do here. Whatever. But either way, I think he wants to brand you because you may be one of the last pure souls over there. if he can corrupt you, then he can corrupt anyone. I mean, let's be honest, most of the people over there are sellouts anyway. Some of those people over there have talked about Keem in very explicit ways and said that they found some of his past actions to be rather egregious, and now they're on their hands and knees sucking dick for profit. So if they can brand you, I think they can brand anyone. Something to think about. In any case, he had some issues. This one particular individual had some issues because of how his mother passed away and how she suffered in this, that, and the third. He didn't like the fact that LOLCOW queens were making light of it. Becky, being Becky, went ahead and got sensitive, went over there and tried to defend herself, couldn't attack Boogie and Keem directly because she's a coward, just like Rich. So she went ahead and turned it on to this third guy and tried to say that he used his mother's death to bash her and to bash her show. And she said that she didn't even understand the full depths of the situation. And then when she finally did find out, her and Tina kept joking about it. So that's fucked up. And it just turned into this whole thing. Eventually, it turned into Becky's like, hey, you need me, meaning to Keem, you need me in the LOLCOW, in the LCN, or the LCU. I don't need you guys anymore. I can go off and do my own thing. I've used you for whatever I need to use you for. You know what I mean? And then she keeps jumping back and forth with this profit margin on LOLCOW queens, which is really, really interesting. She's like, you haven't done a goddamn thing since March to earn your 50% cut of LOLCOW queens. So basically, she said, what have you done for us lately to warrant that amount of money? Which is really, really interesting because last time I checked, Tina had a percentage, Becky had a percentage. I don't think there's a third seat anymore. Keem got a piece of that, and then the pedo behind the camera, predator behind the camera, rumor behind the camera. Anyway, the predator behind the camera over there, he has a piece. Well, I don't see how does Keem have 50% and then the other three have to split the other 50, unless Tina doesn't actually have a piece of the show. And she only just is just getting paid, and Becky and Kid behind the camera actually are sharing that other 50. So the profit cuts over there are getting super interesting. On top of that, there was an argument that I had with another individual and whatnot, which come to find out we were both right. It's just how we got there was different. But no, there's no hard feelings or anything. We had a good laugh after the fact. But the point being is that he was saying that there was still value in the redirects that they have over there with LOLCOW, on LOLCOW in the LCU, because they redirect from one show to when one show ends to another show to another show to another show. I said that's not self-sustaining. Each show getting a redirect in the beginning gave everybody like a sample platter, if you will, of certain hors d'oeuvres or, you know, whatever, certain appetizers and whatever, and you kind of pick what you like. But at the same time, these shows still need to build an individual audience on their own merit. Keem was not going to be able to fleece each and every person in their audience for each and every one of these shows, because you're not going to like everything. Just like most of you who are listening now, you may not even like me. You may not like most of the detractors that I big up. You may not like any detractors, to be honest with you. And you may have just clicked on to see what this fucking moron, being me, has to say about anything. Who could say? But the point being is, it's not a one-size-fits-all. And that's what Keem turned that redirect into. Instead of it being just promotion, occasionally, or at least for a few months until some of these other shows can stand on their own too, it turned into a crutch. Now he's dependent on it. Now he gets mad if you feel that his redirect doesn't mean anything, when in actuality he doesn't see the folly and the fact that these shows can't sustain themselves without that redirect. That's the problem. It's always been the problem. And the fact that he wasn't mindful enough to see that is why views and everything have been dipping. Now, do I think the LCU is dead? No, but I do think it's in a bad spot. I do think Becky kind of needs to do her own show on her own channel while still hosting Queens, because to be honest, all she was doing was using Keem's financial resources as well as his industry connections to help boost herself up anyway. That was the whole point. Now I'm starting to think that that whole thing with DSP, that theory I had that she was trying to get the DSP interview to further her value in the LCU and get more profit margin, it sounds like she may not even need it anymore. On top of the alleged allegations that maybe she has dirt on Keem, like they've She may have some blackmail on him. This is all alleged, by the way. There's no proof of any of this, but it sounds like something's off. On top of the fact that she has, in this particular video we're going to go over, she was demanding basically 25% of what LOLCOW Live was making, because when shit gets bad or when they go into a drought, the only time they can pull ratings is when they talk about her, according to Becky. So it's going to be a lot. I'm going to have a lot coming down range, but it's nothing that I don't think you guys can handle. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And let's get into the absolute fuckery, which is LOLCOW Live. Well, the king of LOLCOW Live versus the queen of LOLCOW, if you will. This is a coffee shop type thing, so let's go ahead and serve you guys up right. Let me give also a disclaimer, by the way, because this is important. It's not important, but it's important. This shit could be completely and utterly staged. Let me be on the up and up with you. This shit could be completely and utterly fucking staged. Most of it probably is, to be honest with you. And that's why Rastov, or whatever the guy's name is, that's why I can understand people feeling bad for him, because they're talking about serious shit and they're milking his emotions to get over a narrative to create inner terminal or inner company or just inner drama amongst the shows, so they can try to boost their ratings up and basically fleece for more money. That's all this is. So when I come across on Rastov, or whatever his name is, kind of harsh, it's because I don't think he really understands how he's being used, how he's being manipulated. I don't think when he was on Aussie, and I think he's still over there, LOLCOW Aussies or whatever, it's him and one other guy, maybe another person, and they're kind of just having fun, just talking bullshit, this, that, and the third. When you get into this real life shit with this chick that's husband's sick and could possibly die, that's content. There is no emotion here. There is no sentiment. There's none of that. His death will be food to it'll be fuel, I should say, that will eventually become food to feed the rest of the cows. That's how your ecosystem works. So, like I said, if your angel wings get clipped, I mean, the road to hell is paved in good intentions. Keem and Boogie are fucking liars and master manipulators. They'll play upon your innocence and your ignorance to get over. So, ladies and gentlemen, take this next video that we're going into with complete and utter cap. You know what I'm saying? This shit is probably staged for the most part. This one guy, this third guy, Rastov, or whatever his name is probably the only guy who's not in on it. And that's unfortunate. But whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Becky, by the time I'm recording this, Becky has her position back. I'm sure she's bitched at fucking Keem, so she gets an even bigger cut of LOLCOW queens, as well as other liberties or amenities and whatnot, and definitely, you know, a higher pay cut on her contract. So it is what it is. And if you're Tina, who I think Tina is probably the most entertaining thing on that show, to be honest with you, she's probably getting fucked over heavy. She don't even realize it. And she can't depend on Michael, Predator behind the camera, to help her on that. It is what it is. She's like, Becky's the only one who runs OBS over there. That's it. Not to say that she's the only one capable of doing it per se, but she's the only one who runs OBS. She literally has all the cards. Something to think about. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with round one, who's one of my who's becoming one of my faves when it comes to going over, who have these short clips of LOLCOW. Them, and I want to tell you the other person is called Hollywood Huggy, who does clips and stuff too. And then you have Big Lebrowski, or Broski, I think it's Lebrowski. And actually, matter of fact, I hope that something between Lebrowski and Agent Proper of the DIA, I hope there's some type, a conversation needs to be had between those two. That's all I'm saying. Those two guys need to have a conversation, because I think, honestly, excuse me, those guys could make some really great content and whatnot. I think they're not beefing or anything. I don't mean to word it like that. I'm just saying these are two people that I think should really talk to each other, because I think an interesting situation could come out of that. In any case, we'll see how the year goes. But if a collaboration could go on between Proper and Lebrowski, or Lebrowski, one of the two, I think it'd be great. Anywho, without further ado, like I said, we're here with round one, and the link to this video will be down in the description. You can check that out. Matter of fact, if I remember to, or whoever ends up posting this, if you can get Lebrowski in there, and if you can get Huggy in there, their channels too, I would very much appreciate that. And let's talk about what is the nonsense that is the on and off again battle between the king and queen of LOLCOW, of the LOLCOW universe.
I called in.
Okay. Now, yet again, let me preface this. First off, big ups to Round One. This is their video. The link will be down in the description. This shit could, more than likely, this shit's capped, or some of it may be staged, but it's entertaining. I gotta say, the rage was really, really entertaining. And then whenever you can see KEEMSTAR unhatted, if you, well, let me not ruin it, but it was kind of funny. Some of it anyway. All right, here we go. Sorry, a bit long-winded. It's been a while since I've been behind the mic, so you know how I do. All right, here we go.
I called into the show to address them making the jokes about Roxy.
Oh, and the title of the video, by the way, is it's just called Becky versus Keem. And like I said, this happened on the 22nd or the 23rd of May 22nd or 23rd of 2025. And like I said, when you guys see the thumbnail and all that bullshit, you'll know.
His husband almost dying, which was so fucking uncool. I called into the show to address them making the jokes about Roxy's husband almost dying, which was so fucking uncool. And they wouldn't let me talk. The reason why we're going to talk about it in length on today's show.
Okay, the third guy, he's, well, you can't see my mouse, but he's in the bottom right-hand corner. Guy with the mullet, that's the dude. He's the one who took some offense to how they were acting over this Roxy's husband being sick and possibly dying. And like I said, he'll tell a little bit about his own story, and you'll understand why. But I also think he's out the loop. He doesn't understand what fucking Keem and Boogie are doing. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of that's going on. And ironically enough, as much as I hate to give Wings anything about anything, this goes back to Fat Camp. This goes back to the fact that these two, Wings and Boogie, or sorry, Keem and Boogie, were coordinating shit, and Wings wasn't always in on it, because they did that to try to get a genuine reaction out of him. Not because Wings is a good person, but so they could get a genuine reaction out of him, while these two were coordinating the other bullshit. I think this guy here, this third guy, is no different. And I just don't think he's realized it yet. But I clearly don't think he really wants to stay on LOLCOW Live. I think he'd rather just go back to LOLCOW Aussies. He seems to have really enjoyed being over there compared to being over here. But you know, you gotta finish the dance out. Here we go.
Is because you kept interrupting me on your show. So now we're going to talk about it here where you can't interrupt me. If you would have just let me settle it and say my piece on Queens last night, we wouldn't have to do all this. Let me lay down some groundwork. Roxy's crying. Her husband almost died. She doesn't know anything. She's in the fucking hospital. He's in the ER and they're fucking, you know, doing work on him. She's crying. She's panicking. Her entire family is worried about what's going on. Queens had a title and a thumbnail praying for Roxy. So Roxy's family said, oh my God, look, you know, Roxy's fellow employees are praying for her. And they click on the video and what do they see? They see this. This is Roxy's family seeing this shit.
If Roxy's husband has to wear a shit bag, can we call him Winnie, like Winnie the Pooh?
What the guy almost died. It was only like 4 hours later that he was taken in an ambulance to the hospital.
Now, Colin, you know how much shit exploded inside him?
Stop it! Stop it, Tina!
Now keep in mind, there is no, everybody over there is fucking soulless in that LOLCOW LCU. This is par for the course. Keep in mind, this is out of the many fuck ups they've had over there, besides fucking Keem's leaked fucking conversations with Lynx, I think her name is. Yeah, Linx. And which, yeah, let's go. Actually, I'll use that. That wasn't the example I was going for, but I'll put that out there. Look at her. Look at what happened to Lynx. And look at how fucking people said, not only in that Discord, not only on the Reddit, that, hey, you can't trust her. She has a history of doxing. She has a history of leaking shit. And all these people came out to defend her, right? Even though there was plenty of evidence that proved it. And then come to find out she ain't leaked Keem shit. Then all of a sudden, all the other shit that came out started coming out about her fucking doing all kinds of crazy ass silly shit. And it made them wonder, why the fuck did you even bring her into the LCU in the first place? What, just so you could glaze Dota her face and shit? Like, that chick's nothing special. I mean, Jesus, Keem, I'm sure there's somebody else that's floating around, or your fucking fiance has a couple friends that you could have hit and whatnot, because you guys swing or some bullshit allegedly, right? So what the fuck do you need this chick for? You know what I'm saying? Like, you like the trashy artsy types or whatever? Whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he has a taste for that. I don't know. But either which way, look at, she leaked all his shit. You know what I'm saying? And he knew about the allegations against her. That was one of the reasons why they wanted to get her out of the LCU in the first place, because no one could trust her, because they felt like she was recording conversations, she was taking screenshots of private conversations, and so on and so forth. And then guess what happened? That's exactly what she did. Imagine that, because no one wanted to listen. And then you got all these other people that tried to, outside of the LCU, so to speak, who was defending her, and then they all ended up looking crazy. And who knows, whatever conversations that they had with Lynx has been recorded and shit, and she's just waiting to drop that. Who knows? Wild shit, bro. Wild shit. Just absolute. Everybody over there is short a couple of chromosomes at the very least. Either that or they're all alcoholics or drug addicts, allegedly, anyway. And that's the reason why there's no critical thinking. Allegedly.
How much shit? Was he full of shit like Roxy?
Roxy almost loses her husband. The title and thumbnail is Pray for fucking Roxy. And this is what's being said when Roxy's family, her husband's family, clicks on the video to see them praying.
So the fuck what? And I say that. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. So the fuck what? That's what they do over there. Anything and everything is on the table. So now all of a sudden it's a problem? Now all of a sudden it's an issue? Stop. There is nothing off limits over there. Alive, sick, dead, and dying. Everything is up for grabs over there. It's always has been. It always will be. So I don't know why he wants to sit there and try to moral fag on some bullshit. No one cares. You know what I'm saying? No one cares. If Roxy's husband died, they all would have talked about it for the next couple of days and shit. They would have all fucking gotten pity bucks and shit. They would have probably even had a couple of fundraisers on each and every one of the shows. I'm sure Roxy would have gotten some of that money. Make it make sense. Like, come on, let's not act like there's any morals over there and values. You saw what happened at fucking over there at Fat Camp? Have you guys heard some of the rumors that are going on, that there may or may not allegedly been orgies or an orgy that may have happened over there after fucking after Wings and Becky left? As well as all the other silly shit that allegedly might have happened over there. And this is all alleged. It's like I said, unless someone's got video of this alleged orgy, I don't know, then I don't believe shit. I'll talk about it, but I don't believe shit. You know what I'm saying? Unless someone can prove it. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what other debauchery that went on over there and shit. You know what I mean? You got a bunch of people over there drinking, and God knows what else they were doing. Of course some crazy shit was going on. Just saying.
Tough. This hit close to home for you, right?
Yeah. To be honest, watching this shit again is kind of pissing me off. I mean, I don't really like Trauma Dumping too much, but this
husband's family clicks on the video to see them praying. Rastov, this hit.
Okay, it is Rastov. I just want to make sure, because I've been butchering that guy's name. Kind of because I don't give a fuck, but I mean, at the same time, he's never done anything, at least not to me anyway, so there's no reason to disrespect Rastov. So, there you go.
Close to home for you, right?
Yeah. To be honest, watching this shit again is kind of pissing me off. I mean, I don't really like Trauma Dumping too much, but this is literally how my mum died. You know, she had lung cancer. She was on experimental treatment, and the cancer treatment caused the bowel to perforate. And because she was so sick, they couldn't do anything about it. So she literally just died. You know, so like making tasteless jokes like this, because it's a fucked up way to go. Because a lot of the time the doctors can't do anything about it. Like sometimes you have to just wait and see. Sometimes they have to do surgery. Like oh man. I've just written this show off, man. I don't give a fuck about these cunts anymore.
This was so fucking insanely offensive to so many fucking people that Queens lost something like 50 different members. They canceled their subscription.
We have
on top of alleged chargebacks too. Allegedly. Sorry, I'm hearing a lot of this stuff like third and fourth handed. So you know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm catching all of this like right off the beat.
Culture of dragging each other here, and it's fun sometimes, but we also try to be a community. And I've helped Becky, I've helped Queens, I've helped Tina, they've helped us.
You mean like how you guys helped fucking Wings get off Lexapro, which ended up leading to him power bombing his wife on the table, which has led her to have some type of herniated disc, and that messing with her, I want to say that messed with her rectum, so now she's got a fucking boatload of problems and shit. You mean like how you were helping there? You mean like that? Or you mean like how when Lynx was fucking around and other people in those discords were finding out, no one wanted to do anything to stop her? because apparently Keem wanted her to be his little snuggle kitten and whatever, while hitting her with the fucking giving her the glaze treatment on a regular basis and shit. Like, give her the crispy, the Keem Krispy Kreme treatment. Come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Let's not act like there's any fucking values over there and shit. They're all pieces of shit. All of them. And it's all for the sake and drive of entertainment. If you think anything differently, you haven't been paying attention. They look at all of you who support that. They think you're fools. They think you're idiots. They think you guys are retarded. Just like DSP looks at his audience and thinks the exact same way. You think just because Keem can go ahead and press a buzzard every once in a while when you guys hit a milestone and thinks he gives a fuck about you? Nah. Keem didn't get to where he's at, not only in life, but on the internet by giving a fuck about people. Trust and believe that.
Community we're trying to build here. And I get it. It's fun to
He'll protect it. KEEMSTAR protects anything and everything that can possibly hurt him. Nothing more, nothing less. He could give a fuck all about anybody else.
make jokes at other people's expense, and we will do that all day. But I'd like to think that if Brantley was in the hospital, we'd all have enough sense to not joke about that. If
No, why would we? I mean, shit, look at what happened with Brantley and David Jaffe. I'm gonna go over that video next, by the way. That's actually literally the next video I'm gonna record after this. Where, you know, apparently she was allegedly really tight and Keem must have had some type of pencil dick type situation. Come to find out, the guy who put that information out there mistaken her for someone else. So there was that. And a conversation could have easily come about being like, okay, yo, I messed up. Or this guy, I was going off the information that was given to me, yada, yada, yada. David Jaffe was saying that he wanted to know a little bit more, which was weird itself, being that given how old you are and how young Brantley is, and you're wondering about how tight her puss is, and like she's literally the age, she could be the age of your daughter if you have a daughter. Weird. You know, that's a bit problematic, to be honest, I think. So, not to say that Keem didn't have a right to be mad, you know what I'm saying, and didn't have a right to fire Joffrey, but at the same time, or Jaffe, but at the same time, it's like, how does she get to be off limits and nobody else? Oh, because she's the boss's daughter. Sorry. Sorry. Because she's the boss's fiance, she's off limits. That's not how that works. Not over there. Not in that landscape.
Desi was in the hospital, I think we would all have enough sense not to
it's
joke
not about in
that.
the hospital.
I don't know, man. I think if Desi ended up in the hospital, I still think that people would take shots at her. Like, there's nobody safe over there. So go ahead, don't fucking try to preach this whole happy family, kumbaya, people give a fuck about each other type shit. Everybody knows that's not how it goes. That's not how it really works. Whatever.
He could have died. You know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, I have fought off sepsis 3 times, and I barely made it all 3 times. And I got handed a $100,000 bill once because of fighting this off. This
Is that the meme where Boogie died today comes from then? You guys have all heard that meme where like you go on a forum or you go on YouTube and someone says in the comments, oh, Boogie died. Like, is it that where that meme comes from? Because you caught septis 3 fucking times? Like, is that, I'm just curious.
is a life-changing moment in Roxy's life, and don't you fucking forget it.
And there was no humanity shown here at all. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, like cracking jokes like this. Becky, Tina, guys, listen, if your fucking show and your thumbnail is titled Praying for fucking Roxy, and you know that the husband was septic, I don't want to hear, oh, we didn't know how serious it was. You're just lying. You're flicking off your audience. You think your audience is fucking stupid. You think you can feed them some bullshit line like, oh, I didn't know how serious it was. And you think you're going to get out of it? No, the fucking audience is not that dumb.
Audience is not that dumb. So Keem himself is admitting, yeah, you got your audience is idiots, but they're not that much of idiots. You know what I'm saying? They're stupid, but they're not ignorant, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're dunces. They may be even retards, but they're not that retarded. I'm just putting out there what Keem's saying.
That the husband was septic. I don't want to hear, oh, we didn't know how serious it was. You're just lying. You're flicking off your audience.
That'd have made a good thumbnail now that I think about it.
You think your audience is fucking stupid. You think you can feed them some bullshit line like, oh, I didn't know how serious it was. And you think you're going to get out of it? No, the fucking audience is not that dumb. Someone else is saying Roxy's lying. She's literally sending us videos from the fucking hospital. I don't think she's lying.
He had a smell from all the way from the rooter to the tutor.
Stop it! I can't with you. Yes, I know it's a life or death situation.
Now, keep in mind, Becky, who you see up there right now, she lives in a trash heap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Keem had to pay for professionals to come out there and clean up her apartment or condo or whatever the fuck it is that she stays in, or what it is, but like, there was literally trash everywhere. And she couldn't throw anything out because either A, she has hoarder tendencies, or B, and I think as she said, her lower back is so messed up that she can't do anything. She just can't pick up and clean stuff. She can't throw anything away, yada, 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 yada. Which is funny because Foodie Beauty and Amber actually live in trash heaps too sometimes, where they just can't keep anything clean. I don't know if that's a big girl thing or not, because even though Becky is like 5'1", 5 foot, whatever, she's around the deaf fat, you know, height range, she isn't actually as heavy as those two. You know what I'm saying? Being that Amber Lynn's tipping the scales at 600, or she's at least fighting her ass off not to be, and Foodie is definitely at 550, most certainly, because she was 350 pounds at least when she went to Kuwait 3 years ago at this point now. So there's that. I don't think Becky's that heavy, but I also don't think she's that hurt. I think she's just a really lazy, disgusting person. So I guess maybe that's what Rich likes too. I guess maybe Rich is a lot like Keem. He likes trashy, disgusting women and whatnot. I don't know. What can I say?
Situation, and it's very, very serious.
See?
I'm also the person who will start crying.
Yes, I know it's a life or death situation. Yes, I know it's a life.
It's very, very serious.
Word for word, you said it right there that you knew.
Yep.
Hi. So when the stream started, I did not know he was septic. I found out during the stream. So it's fine to hate on me all you want for this. I deserve it. I went too far yesterday. But also, can you not lie about me while you're doing it?
But you say right in the clip that you know it's a life or death situation.
I found out after the stream started from the chat, from what the chat said. I had no fucking clue.
And yet you still joked about the shit after the chat told her. Now, keep in mind, because you gotta watch Becky because she's kind of sneaky. She's telling you that she didn't find out until after the stream started. But one, if you're not paying too much attention, and I wouldn't blame you, you would almost take it as, oh, well, she didn't hear about it until after the stream ended. Now, that's not what she's saying, but that could be implied as such. So she's kind of using some sneaky wording to try to get around her bullshit, even though you could clearly just go back to the show and see when the chat pointed out to her and that little revolt that they had, that they was trying to take her or have her and Tina take accountability of what they were saying. Semantics, but I thought I'd just point that out because I'm petty.
I thought this was like when Brenda went to the hospital for her appendix and everyone was making all fucking jokes about it. I did not know.
Well, everybody got quiet when she said that. Now, keep in mind, though, too, Becky has a track record of fucking people over. One, the only reason why she's over there with the LCU and has her own show is she did that on the back of fucking Review Tech USA. So she literally built a career off of Review Tech. But then again, she was with him for 10 years. And he couldn't figure out a way to get in between her thighs. So maybe that was a pretty good revenge for her. I don't know, whatever. I'm sure he's a disappointment either which way. If that video that's being circulated around that everybody's laughing about is true, then she didn't miss out on much anyway. So whatever. On top of that, she's the one who outed Kid Behind the Camera, aka Predator Behind the Camera, aka Groomer Behind the Camera, aka Pedo Behind the Camera. She outed him live about his wife, which is now about to be his ex-wife, was 15 when they hooked up for the first time, and he was 22. Now, I've already gone over that ad nauseum, but some people say, allegedly, that he actually knew about her when she was 13, and he was 20. So some people are thinking maybe Kid Behind the Camera or Predator Behind the Camera was actually grooming her since the chick was 13 years old. Allegedly. So that story gets even worse, if that's true, of course. I'm telling you, there's some sick people over there in that LCU. There's some sick people over there. And keep in mind, you go over there now with that Kid Behind the Camera allegations about, hey, he groomed a chick, whether 13 or 15, he groomed her, this, that, and the third, he's a pedo, they defend him without any qualms. They defend him. Some wild shit.
Once I started the stream, I saw people saying,
and Becky was the one that put that out there, just for context. She knew about it and she put it out there, and she was one of the first people to defend him. So apparently Becky don't have no problem with pedos. That's the point.
in the side.
Did you stop making jokes after you found out, like, at this point, then there's no more jokes after this?
There were jokes throughout the stream until I saw it hurt rocks. Okay, Rasov, stop being so smart.
Until you heard, or until you saw that it hurt rocks? What? Let's bring that back.
After the stream started, from the chat, from what the chat said, I had no fucking clue. I thought this was like when Brenda went to the hospital for her appendix and everyone was making all fucking jokes about it. I did not know. Once I started the stream, I saw people saying in the side.
Did you stop making jokes after you found out, like, at this point, then there's no more jokes after this?
There were jokes throughout the stream until I saw it hurt rocks. Okay, Rasov, stop being so smug. As soon as I saw
look, I'm just asking a question based on what you fucking said.
You're just saying when you found out it was sepsis, you said it was serious, you stopped joking. So we're asking, did you actually stop?
You had no idea, and then they told you, and you carried on. So, like, what is it? Which is it?
Should I just
real quick? Look, I do appreciate that you apologize and you're trying to make it right with Roxy.
Not that it means anything, but whatever.
I know this comes across like we're beating a dead horse, but I'm going to go through it because you wouldn't let me talk on your show yesterday. So I'm going to do it on my show. That's fair.
You can. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying don't fucking lie about it while you do it.
What's the lie?
You can go about it all you want. I don't fucking care.
Can you
Where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
Rostov, I'm not talking to you. I know you guys are milking me for content.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
Yeah, where's the lie? Where's the lie?
I mean, if you're walking around with big ass udders and you're promoting it, like, you know what I'm saying? If you think it's pussy, you dare them to stick their dick in this, I would assume that someone's going to probably want to try it. Metaphorically speaking, of course. In Minecraft.
Walk us through the lie.
When he said, I knew it was sepsis and he's fucking dying. I didn't know he was dying. And guess what? He's not dead. He's here. Jesus Christ, can we please keep things in perspective?
So completely forget the narrative of what you and Tina said and said, oh, well, the bastard's still alive, so no big deal, right? So if I was to, because I'll be the bad guy and because you're the villain in somebody's story, right? So let me be the bad guy right now. Let me get on my Joker shit. So let's say, hypothetically, let's say that fucking cat actually does have diabetes and high blood pressure. And let's say she has some other heart problems too. Let's say DSP goes on stream and tells us this. Let's say someone goes and does some research and find out that she actually is in the hospital while DSP is at home streaming, begging for money, which sounds very plausible, by the way. So you see how good the story's going? And let's say I decided to go ahead and do a stream that day, which I need to stream because actually we need to have a business meeting just so I can, you know, take your guys' temperature on the content up to this point and everything. I'll try to do it in the beginning of June, if not end of May, which probably won't be the end of May. So probably in the beginning of June or sometime in June or July. We'll try to shoot for that. Certainly before the holidays. But anyway, let's say that, you know, someone actually does some research and actually finds out, oh, well, she actually is in the hospital. She actually is sick and shit. And, you know, she's not in the best spot. And let's say I went on stream and I just went ahead and took a bunch of pop shots at her and shit and said, well, you know, if that bitch dies, she dies. I don't give a fuck. She did it to herself. And then let's say, to make this even more realistic, let's say Alt decides to go ahead and come in and says, you know what, man, I don't really appreciate what you said. I think that's kind of fucked up. I think you're dehumanizing her, you know what I'm saying, for your own shits and giggles, and she is a person. Despite the mistakes that she may have made, the poor choices she may have made, no one deserves to die. And what if, hypothetically, I said, well, fuck you and fuck everything that comes with that. That bitch knew what she was signing up for. She can take that. Take that. So it is what it is. I'm not going to sit there and feel bad for that shit. And then let's say, hypothetically, that she gets pulled out of it. Let's say she does recover. Let's say Alt goes on that being said and says, hey, well, you know, she actually pulled through this, that, and the third. GTG's a fucking asshole for saying what he said. That was bullshit. At the end of the day, she's still a person. And she doesn't deserve to be ridiculed and mocked because she was in the hospital dying while her piece of shit husband was sitting there playing whatever game to be failed of the day and just to take shots at her just because she's married to DSP. And then let's say I start a stream afterwards saying, the fuck's he mad about? You're not married to that bitch. And on top of it, that bitch is still alive. Who cares? It's no big deal. She's still breathing. She lives to eat DoorDash another day. What's the problem? Now, keep in mind, this is all a hypothetical situation, but it's realistic enough where it could happen. Well, No, if Alt was smart, he wouldn't bring me up on that being said, just because that doesn't help him, nor does it help the brand doing so. But let's say hypothetically, you know what I'm saying? Alt would be in the right theoretically. And I'm not any more innocent just because she pulled through. At the end of the day, I was fucked up saying what I said, whether she was going to die or not. That's the point. But Becky's sitting here saying, hey, yeah, I said what I said, whatever. I didn't understand what the full circumstances were at the time, whatever. But I still kept joking about it. And more importantly than that, none of that prior to this even matters. He ain't dead. He's going to recover, hopefully. So who cares? That's basically what she's saying. And that's not how that works. Because let's say Becky's mother got sick. Let's say Becky's father got sick. Let's say people started taking pop shots at that. Is she going to sit there and want grace? Is she going to want to hold some moral grounds in that fucking situation? Got to think about it. What you put out, you get right back. And she thinks that she's being milked for content when in actuality, she put herself in a bad space. All you got to do is apologize. Yeah, in that particular circumstance, all you have to do is apologize. You know, hey, we took it too far. My bad. I should have been more considerate, whatever, and keep it pushing. Or stand on all 10 and say, hey, it's open game over here. If you guys have a problem with it, if you guys can't handle it, maybe you guys need to check your fucking morals and values or whatever the fuck you guys are preaching at the door. This is about entertainment. End of story. You got to pick a side because you can't ride the fence. Can't do both. End of story.
And then you found out and carried on. So, like, it invalidates literally what you just said.
We're not talking about you or your mom.
I'm not talking about me. This is not about me. This is not about me. This is literally about what you are saying and what you said in the clip. You said,
I'm glad that this guy held his ground too, because Becky targeted him because he was the easiest target, or soft target, really. He comes across because he comes across kind of soft. So he was a real soft target, and he was something easy to hit. And she thought if she kept the pressure on him, he wouldn't hit back. He would just take it. And then if Boogie and Winks came in and if Boogie or Keem came in, she could go ahead and she'll take what they say and just deflect it right back on Rostov, whatever, on him and whatnot. And you know what I'm saying? She could still scurry away and whatnot, which is something that you see amongst LOLCOWs. So this isn't anything new.
No, your whole
it's Rostov. Sorry. let me stop being a fuckboy about this.
whole thing is you didn't know how serious it was, and then you found out how serious it was, and you carried on. So your fucking argument doesn't make sense because you instantly fucking went against your own argument. Try again.
Listen, Rostov.
I am listening. You're not. You're literally. Oh my god, you're so stupid.
Still talking. Shut the fuck up. If I saw the second I saw it upset Roxy, I was sorry to Roxy.
So it wasn't the fact that people in the chat said, "Hey, that's really fucked up. You shouldn't say it." As soon as you saw that Roxy was upset, you thought, "I'm just trying to get an idea of the context of how it works over there in the LCU." Because I have my own theories, but. There's a lot of morally dubious shit that goes on over there, apparently.
Piss you off, Rostov? I'm sorry.
This is not about me. This isn't about me. This is about you saying that your justification was that you didn't understand the severity of it, and then you found out the severity, and you carried on.
Dude, if you didn't.
People still make jokes. It's jokes. What mattered is if it was serious to Roxy.
Do you literally believe the own bullshit coming out of your mouth?
Excuse me. Can I ask you a question? Let me just ask you the most simple question.
This shit feels staged as hell. Like I said, like Rostov, his situation, he seems to believe that he's genuinely like holding a position and he's fighting for it. But I don't know, man. The way Boogie and Keem are kind of acting, it seems like this shit was kind of staged, I think. And I think Becky does feel like she was attacked, but I also think she's somewhat in on this. We'll see. As it plays out, we'll see what my final verdict is.
Am I going to be able to answer, or should I just save it for Queen?
Wait, are you mad that you're being interrupted? This is what you did on my show, on your show.
What, Keem? I didn't hear you.
Are you mad that you're being interrupted? This is what you did to me on your show.
Yep.
It's not that. I don't mind if I'm being interrupted with a purpose.
Okay, Becky, here's the thing. The title and thumbnail was praying for Roxy. And you were praying for Roxy because her husband had a medical emergency. and you knew that much.
Yeah, I knew that something happened with her husband. I did not pay attention
And
to
then
the thumbnail and title.
And then you
which I
knew it
think
was
is very
septic.
important.
You knew it was septic because you made the joke that he was full of shit like Roxy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until after the show started. And then people were saying in the chat that he was. That's how I fucking information. Do you want to check all my texts and call logs on my phone? I didn't fucking
You're changing.
know shit.
Well, okay.
You're
She's literally deflecting. She's literally deflecting. All she has to do is say, hey, I didn't know until after the show started. I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Yes, someone in the chat mentioned it. I fucked up. I should have stopped. We didn't. That's all she had to do. And she could literally end all of this. But she's so scared of this getting dragged out that, excuse me, she's literally doing what they want, which is they want her to drag this shit out further. Amazing. Harvard graduate, just because you're intelligent doesn't make you smart. Literally, just because you're intelligent doesn't make you smart.
derailing.
Becky,
You're
can I ask you-
derailing. You're
can I ask you a
derailing.
quick-
I have you.
Or how does DSP say it? Being book smart, but not street smart? Whatever.
You dead to rights with the last sentence I just said, and then you derailed. You knew it was septic. That's why you made the joke that he was full of shit.
Actually, I didn't know from the start of the stream. What's hard to understand here? I already took accountability, and Rastov is going to be part of it as much as he keeps putting himself back into.
Like I said, go right back to the punching bag. Go right back to the soft target. Rastov has to go down with the ship too, because you know Becky's lower back hurt, so someone has to break the fall. Someone has to be the cushioning and whatnot.
To it, making this all about him.
Damn, Rastov, she's kind of trying to turn you into the new Review Tech USA. If you think about it, that's fucked up. I don't think you're as morally fucking corrupt as his ass is, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Rastov, I'm sorry.
It's not a no. Stop trying to use my personal situation to invalidate what I said, because what I said was based on what you said.
Like the sensitive little baby you are.
No. See, this is what I mean. It's more fucking deflection.
Damn, Rastov, she called you a sensitive little bitch. I mean, she said baby, but she meant bitch. God damn, son. You take a lot of abuse over there for no reason. Hurtful. Just hurtful.
It's more deflection. You're using my situation to try and invalidate the point that I made. That's literally all you're doing.
Situation, so now I'm addressing.
No,
it.
I brought up my situation as why I got triggered by it, right? But that doesn't change that you still did what you did, and that you said you didn't know, and then you found out, and then you kept going.
No
Keep talking, because you're just digging yourself a bigger hole. Keep talking, go.
No shit, I'm giving you content. Shut up and take it. Jesus.
Giving you content or context? Wait, let's bring that back.
Tim, Rastov, I'm sorry.
It's not a no. Stop trying to use my personal situation to invalidate what I said, because what I said was based on what you said.
Like the sensitive little baby you are.
No. See, this is what I mean. It's more fucking deflection. It's more deflection. You're using my situation to try and invalidate the point that I made. That's literally all you're doing.
Situation, so now I'm addressing.
No, I brought up my situation as why I got triggered by it, right? But that doesn't change that you still did what you did, and that you said you didn't know, and then you found out, and then you kept going. Keep talking, because you're just digging yourself a bigger hole. Keep talking, go.
No shit, I'm giving you content. Shut up and take it.
Okay, so she knows she's being milked. So yet again, it kind of gives more context that this shit is somewhat staged or scripted. And I think Rastov is the only person who's not in on it completely. Which is even more fucked up when you think about the meta like that. Anyway.
Jesus Christ, you're welcome.
This is not fucking content. This is...
But the thing is, to the other three people that are in this conversation, it is. You're the only one who's not clued in on that. That's how... You know how people say, well, for some of you who are in the know, they say that a lot of that shit that goes over there on the LOLCOW LCU is just a cult. That's all it is. Just one giant ass fucking cult and shit. And it might be, but it's very clear not everybody, like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing at any given time. And I guess that's supposed to be the spontaneous aspect of it. But yet again, that harkens back to what Wings had said at Fat Camp, which led to all that bullshit that's happening there. Not everybody's on the same page. And if you have someone who is or comes across or seems to be genuinely good-natured, I'm not saying Rastov is any of those things. I don't know. I've never spoken to him. But let's say that he is, or let's say that's how people perceive him. He's probably one of the more easiest people to take advantage of, given the situation. Remember, in the beginning of this whole clusterfuck, Keem brought up that, hey, Rastov, your mother had a situation. So Keem knew enough about Rastov's personal situation to use that as kindling to start this whole shit in the first place. Peep the game on how this shit is, or at least how I perceive it.
Fucking like someone's fucking spouse almost dying.
Yeah,
This
no,
is your problem.
I didn't know they almost died, and if you don't think it should be used,
And then you found out and kept doing it. You
True.
yeah,
it's about you. You're not the man.
you are incapable of being wrong. Stop trying to invalidate what I'm saying by using my situation.
I'm not talking about you anymore. Shut the fuck up. If
You
think-
keep fucking mentioning it.
I'm not talking about you anymore. If you think it's in poor taste to make content out of it, stop the fucking show
Okay.
right now. You guys are making content out of it. Hold
We're not
yourself
making
accountable.
content out of Roxy's husband. We're making content out of you.
Wow.
Then Becky and Tina backtracked real quick.
Yes.
Listen, all right, listen, I'm going to try to be serious. It is obviously very serious. I'm so sorry you're going through that, Roxy, and I hope that he gets better quickly.
And he's full of
That seemed pretty genuine. Jesus Christ.
shit just like her brown eyes.
Do you
Bullshit.
think that all her shitting that she's been doing the past few weeks was like foreshadowing? It was foreshitting.
Well, if it's colon
So, like, this
That
defense
wasn't even funny. That was terrible. That was a terrible delivery. All right, whatever.
doesn't even make sense. Okay, now she knows it's serious. Now she's apologizing, and look at her at full laughter about it. Like, your defense makes no sense, Becky. I don't know what the point of her coming in here. She just looks like a liar. Every time she talks, she looks more like a liar. Like, I don't know what the point of that was.
Apparently, having egos is the norm around here. If Keem's allowed to have an ego, so the fuck am I. And part of me having an ego is I know how the fuck I'm supposed to be treated. So maybe I don't fucking talk around here anymore until I get the fucking apology I'm owed. I get my words twisted.
This has to be DSP in a female form if DSP had any real guts and guile to say that type of shit or to have that same type of energy in front of other people, not just in his own personal bubble. Something to think about.
On me for 2 fucking hours because KEEMSTAR doesn't have a fucking show or any content to talk about while everything is floundering. I go on and try to say my piece on there. Oh, no, Becky, you gotta go. I have a show to move on to while they continue to talk about me for the next fucking hour. Okay. And what do you do for our fucking show now besides take 50%? What the fuck do you do besides fuck with our show every time our numbers are doing good?
You mean giving you the platform, giving you like literally giving you the platform and the stage and everything. You're getting paid probably far more than what you would make on your own platform, to be honest, and whatnot, to a much larger audience to basically slum for Keem, to be honest. And even then, and then the change in the time slot thing, I swear Keem does that shit just to control people. He honestly does that shit to control people. And the shows that are doing poorly, he moves them into better slots, moves other people, the people who have stronger performing shows, into weaker spots so they can build that time frame up, and then he can swap them right back. That's actually something that was brought up when LOLCOW Tech Talk, which eventually became LOLCOW Madhouse. That was kind of a similar situation with that too. I follow this shit far closer than I even want to give myself credit that I do, to be honest with you. But the time frame thing it's not the best look. Keem should really take more consideration of that. He's kind of hurting the brand doing it because none of the shows are really strong enough outside of a redirect, and that's really more short-term gains, to actually be able to stand on their own doing what he's doing. Whatever. He'll figure it out or he'll crash and burn.
Funny how we were doing good despite everything that was thrown at us, and all of a sudden now Becky's a racist and you guys all come.
Oh yeah, I heard Becky drop the N-word the other day. Hard R, I think. Yeah. Maybe that's the reason why Review Tech chased her for so long. He doesn't have a problem with the word, by the way, and whatnot, even though, and he damn sure don't have a problem calling black people Uncle Tom and all that shit. You guys can refer back to that early beef he had recently if you want more context on that. So that, I guess that makes her appealing to a certain demographic.
In here to pile on me yesterday to content farm my fucking udders.
You know,
I mean, like I said, if you're gonna put those udders out there and shit, someone's gonna want to squeeze. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, we didn't plan on talking about just Becky that show, and we didn't, by the way. We did talk about the tattoo stuff with Rastov.
Branding Rastoff and shit, giving him the fucking LOLCOW 666 on his fucking forehead. Jesus.
We did talk about the Lego video, but I had a whole docket of stuff that I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, that's cap. Please. That was all they had to talk about besides Rasov's fucking tattoo that they talked about and baited donos for the last 3 fucking shows. Keem, you better watch real fucking close how well you treat me.
Jesus. Get a room. The two of y'all just need to get a room. Clearly, there's a lot of frustration between y'all. You guys need to hate fucking be done with it. Holy shit.
Going forward.
It's kind of unfortunate, though, because she doesn't have long hair anymore, so, like, hitting that from the back is not going to be nearly as fun. Whatever. She's got a whole lot there to grab onto, I guess, so that's a thing. How Rich couldn't close a deal on this, I'll never know. I'll never know.
Guess what? I don't need the LCU anymore, but the LCU sure as fuck needs me to be entertaining. You need me because I'm all you had to talk about for your entire fucking show. Maybe you should sit the fuck down and take notes, Keem, on how to create content because it seems like I'm the only bitch who's worth talking about around here. You're welcome for your whole fucking show today. Where's my 25%? I want my fucking 25% of LOLCOW Live.
There he is.
Oh, damn. I love that energy, though. I love that energy. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. And yet again, I still firmly believe that she is just the registered BBW over there and shit and whatnot, because clearly the way she dresses and clearly the way she makes those udders bounce and shit when she's angry. I mean, there's clearly a demographic there for that. You'd be very hard-pressed to prove me otherwise. I welcome it, but you'd be very hard-pressed to prove me otherwise.
To move on to while they continue to talk about me for the next fucking hour. Okay. What do you do for our fucking show now besides take 50%? What the fuck do you do besides fuck with our show every time our numbers are doing good? Funny how we were doing good despite everything that was thrown at us, and all of a sudden now Becky's a racist and you guys all come in here to pile on me yesterday to content farm my fucking udders.
You know, yeah, we didn't plan on talking about just Becky that show, and we didn't, by the way. We did talk about the tattoo stuff with Rastov. We did talk about the Lego video, but I had a whole docket of stuff that I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, that's cap. Please. That was all they had to talk about besides Rasov's fucking tattoo that they talked about and baited donos for the last 3 fucking shows. Keem, you better watch real fucking close how well you treat me going forward, because guess what? I don't need the LCU anymore.
See, yet again, this kind of goes back to my theory and whatnot, where, like I said, she's just draining their resources. If she's not going to get a larger percentage of ownership, then she'll just drain them of their financial resources as well as any, any like industry contacts, sponsorships, endorsements, and then she'll move on. Like, truth be told, her doing LOLCOW Queens was probably the best thing for her as it pertains to building her own individual brand. Whereas the rest of those fucking amoebas over there and shit never really thought about that. They all rather just suck at fucking Keem's dick. And none of them are really thinking about, they treat it like a job. She's kind of the only one, and I hate to give Becky any credit for anything, but I can understand why some of these dudes are attracted to her when she's angry. I can kind of see that now. And when I can see what Asian GTG was talking about now. But anyway, not to put him out there as a feeder or nothing. But if you know, you know. I've always seen her as being very business oriented and business motivated. She was always about building up her own brand. And if she could develop her own brand under Keem's umbrella with ownership, and then she could go ahead and further her own brand individually, or independently, I should say. I think that was always the plan. I still think it is. Because I don't know how often she streams on her own channel, her own shit, but I do know there's some type of restriction on her. And she's been trying to get that lifted, allegedly. So I wonder, I think in the long term, it's all about just draining Keem for as much as she can pull out of him, and then she's off on her own. And she'll probably take a good amount of the LOLCOW Queens audience at the very least with her, which is still as well as the ones that are into BBWs. And that's a strong enough foundation for her to relaunch her own brand. And if she can keep people, if she can get more guests on that are interesting in whatever, she could make it work. Now, is that a long-term thing for her? I couldn't tell you. But I do know that staying in the LCU in the long term is going to be a double-edged sword. For whatever resources she'll be able to drain out of Keem, she also subjects herself to more of the criticism and taint that being involved with that whole brand brings with it, or what's aligned to it. Something to think about.
But the LCU sure as fuck needs me to be entertaining. You need me because I'm all you had to talk about for your entire fucking show. Maybe you should sit the fuck down and take notes, Keem, on how to create.
Oh yeah, she also accused a guy of SA too, falsely, which is foul. So you know that's the face of that too. Like I said, don't let Becky ever know anything about you. Trust me, it's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst. Don't let that shit happen. Holy fuck. Now think about it. Is Keem still trying to dox that guy who put out that information on Brentley? Well, what he thought was about her. It wasn't about her, it was about somebody else. But is Keem still trying to actively dox that guy? I wonder. I wonder if he's going to get on his Ethan Van Skyler shit and go through the personal information of all their memberships to actually find who that guy is. He already has a screen name, so I'm pretty sure by now he's figured out what his real name and all that bullshit. Careful who you send your money to, because, yikes. Yikes.
Content, because it seems like I'm the only bitch who's worth talking about around here. You're welcome for your whole fucking show today. Where's my 25%? I want my fucking 25% of LOLCOW live.
Oh, there he is.
Becky, you're fired.
It was the only power play that he had, let's be honest. That was the only thing he had in pocket. Great reaction, though. Holy shit.
Oh, great. No.
You're Becky Boop. I'm KEEMSTAR. We are not the same.
That's true, actually.
I'm sick of threats. When you do this at camp, I told you stop threatening.
Okay,
You
I guess
did it
I'm fired. Bye.
Y'all really need to just go to a hotel and shit and just get and hate fuck that out. You guys got way too much pent up frustration to be acting like this. Holy shit.
Maybe you should.
And that's okay, Keem. If you're into the big girls like that, you know what I'm saying? Like over here, we don't discriminate. We regulate over here. But like, so if you into this, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But man, take her to a hotel and just go ahead and just let it out. Let your inner gnome, you know what I'm saying, run wild and shit on that and just be done with it. Cause you guys got way too much pent up frustration. Unless you guys got dirt on each other, something. You know what I'm saying? This is deeper than LCU shit. That's all I'm saying. This shit is much deeper. Actually, Keem's frustration at times mirrors the type of sexual frustration I'm sure Review Tech USA has with Becky. But then again, you know, you being in contact with a woman for 10 years and you're not able to hit it seems pretty pathetic. So I can understand why. Well, I can't understand. I can't relate. But I can see, I guess, why Review Tech would have been so frustrated. But yeah, Keem, just, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, you guys don't live that far from each other. Like, make that shit happen.
Sit the fuck down and take notes, Keem, on how to create content. Because it seems like I'm the only bitch who's worth talking about around here. You're welcome for your whole fucking show today. Where's my 25%? I want my fucking 25% of LOLCOW live.
Oh, there he is.
Becky, you're fired.
Okay, great.
You're Becky Boop. I'm KEEMSTAR. We are not the same. I'm sick of threats. When you do this at camp, I told you stop threatening.
Okay,
You
I guess
did it
I'm fired. Bye. Somebody needs to go tell Keem or somebody else to pick up the stream because right now I haven't ended it so somebody else can come on. So Michael, whether it's you or somebody else who wants to pick up OBS, maybe Keem himself, since he's the one fucking up, how about you, big bad boss, while you take off your fucking hat and show the world your bald ass head that contains your pea brains. Shit for brains.
I know. God damn. Yo, look at that shit. Oh man! Oh fuck! That's wild. I mean, we got a glimpse of this shit during the Wings of Redemption shit. Where Wings, actually, by the way, if you guys ever get a chance to go back to Lummox or Breaking Banquet's video on that shit, Wings was literally trying to gouge out fucking KEEMSTAR's eyes. You guys, anybody else peep that, or was that just me? It might have been just me, but he was literally trying to gouge his eyes out. That's fucking wild. Anyway, God, dog, Keem, look at that shit. Literally look like a peanut head. God damn, son. Wow. Like a shaved coconut. Whoa, shit. Oh man, that's special, Keem. That's special. All right, anyway, let's keep moving.
I'm
I'm showing my big bald head, just
Good.
like Becky said.
Good.
What now?
Now you could go to your studio and run
What now?
OBS for the next few hours since I'm
What
fucking
now?
fired.
No. All right, yeah, I gotta give Keem. I gotta give Keem credit on that one. That was funny. That was funny as shit. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again.
Right now, I haven't ended it so somebody else can come on.
Oh,
So,
man.
Michael, whether it's you or somebody else who wants to pick up OBS, maybe Keem himself, since he's the one fucking up, how about you, big bad boss? Why don't you take off your fucking hat and show the world your bald ass head that contains your pea brains? Shit for brains.
I know. I'm showing my big bald head, just like Becky said.
Good.
What now?
Now you could go to your studio and run
What now?
OBS for the next few hours since I'm fucking
now?
fired.
Good shit, Keem. Look, he has a little sheen over there at the time and shit. He glistening and shining and shit. Holy fuck. That's wild, son. Good shit, Keem. That's pretty funny.
Becky,
You just
you're
fired
not
me.
gonna
What?
threaten.
I don't have to listen
I don't
to you
need
anymore.
you and all this other stuff.
Cool.
Then just
you
go.
don't need me.
No
Go
one's gonna
find
be
somebody else to
scared.
run OBS. I don't need to
I
listen to
need
you
you.
anymore. You're not my fucking boss.
She made a mistake, and she can't deal with the fact that people were upset at what she
You
did.
fired
So
me.
this is what
You
she
fired
does.
me.
She
Why are
goes
you
and
still
crashes
here?
out.
Keem, that's right. I just kicked you off. Go find somebody else to run OBS because I don't have to listen to your shit anymore. Go. When you
I
come on
wouldn't.
camera and I see you mouthing, I'm sorry, I'll put my headphones back on.
Boy, this come on, bro. Like this is theatrics at its best. Not necessarily absolute cinema, but this is theatrics. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like I said, I'm sure at the time that you guys see this, she's still over there on LOLCOW Queens. You know what I'm saying? Her and Keem are probably still bitching at each other behind the scenes and shit. Absolute fucking cinema. But this is clearly theatrics. It's funny, at least for what it is. But it's funny. She gotta be careful though. She can give herself a heart attack like that though.
Keem is not going to say he's sorry, goddamn Becky. You know, goddamn well, Keem is
He
not.
fired me. Until he
not.
rehires me, I
This
don't
whole-
work here anymore. Take
This
it
whole
back,
crash
Keem,
out is
or
just
just fucking fire me.
ridiculous.
I don't fucking care
is
either
going
which
on,
way, but stop
Keem?
wasting my fucking time.
Ooh.
If I'm not appreciated here, just get rid of me.
Keem,
Well-
why do you let her do this? It's almost like everybody thinks that she has something over you.
Well, there are people who think that's not, that wasn't like hyperbole. Like that was a theory for a long ass time, because there's been plenty of times where Tina, as well as others, have said that, you know, that allegedly Becky has had certain type of concessions and like certain perks that were given to her that weren't made available to other people. And I don't mean just cash advances and all that. That's all well-known stuff. But also other stuff too. You know what I mean? Like other little things that have been kind of given, you know what I'm saying, her way, or extra money that's been shelled to her for one reason or another, beyond just an advancement of her check. And you know, that's not a privilege that would be given to anybody else. So there has to be something behind the favoritism. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, maybe it's a Lynx thing. I don't know. Maybe you know, if you look at Becky under those lights, maybe he wanted to glaze her too. Maybe he wants to cover those udders with the Keem, the Keem goo or whatever. I don't know, but it's a very weird chemistry over there.
That's why she gets away with what she does to you. None of us
just
talk
fired
like
her.
that.
He just fired her, Tina.
She's still here. She's still here, motherfucker. You fat motherfucker. Pickle whip.
Do I have a fucking
Okay.
job? Am I working here or am I fired? Because if I'm fired, I don't have to listen to a word you have to say.
Becky, all right? You're going to have to listen and not interrupt so I can explain my position.
Oh, funny how even
right?
on my show I have to shut up and listen to you. Funny how that works. You're able to bitch and have an opinion. Why can't I? I thought everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Why can't I come on?
They really do talk like they're equals. Like, holy, you guys sound like a very angry fucking married couple. Like, Jesus Christ. But she definitely talks like she's his equal. She really do. Like, Becky really does carry herself like she's Keem's equal, and Keem there's just not enough pushback. You know what I'm saying? Or there's not enough pushback with any real weight behind it. I don't know.
My own show and say what I feel. How about you?
No, you
Get
totally
the fuck
can.
out. If you,
You
have
totally
something to
can.
say, go say it on your shitty show. Get the fuck out.
Action out so bad.
What, Keem? What do you want? I have respect for your show and let you do your fucking show. Can you have some respect for me?
Look, if you want to stay here, right?
Look at him buckling. Absolute buckling. Oh, and this guy right here is supposed to be the king of the LCU. Just because he own it, don't mean he run it. Holy shit, that's sad.
And you want to continue the show, fine. You can't be threatening that you don't need the LCU. We had so many talks about this. You can't.
Oh yeah, she started this narrative a while ago, and I thought Keem. Well, I know he didn't do it, but I thought Keem would have nipped that shit in the butt because she was saying this shit publicly, like that the LCU ain't shit without her. If LOLCOW Queens dies, then LOLCOW Live falls apart because the other shows aren't worth a damn. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even gonna say allegedly. That's true. She actually said that or something along those lines. So all kinds of silly ass shit. And Keem has been trying to put that, like, pinch that shit forever, and he's not going to, because to some degree, Becky is correct. Like, they do need LOLCOW Queens where it's at, to because it is the strongest show that they have besides LOLCOW Live. Like, the other shows just don't match up. You know what I mean? I know, like, some people are saying Rewind is a good show. I would say if you could only keep 3 shows, it would have to be LOLCOW Live, LOLCOW Queens, and then Rewind. I would say the rest of them can pretty much fall by the wayside, and I don't think it'll really be that serious. Even though I hear the morning show that they have is pretty good, but I don't know. I don't watch it, so I don't know.
Be doing that.
I'm not saying I'm quitting. I'm stating an objective fact. I do not need the LCU the same way you do not need Becky Boop. So maybe instead of strong-arming each other and shutting each other up, you could have had some basic fucking respect for me today instead of kicking me out of the stream when I tried to defend myself, and now not even letting me talk now. You're lucky I'm even fucking here. Get the fuck out,
You know
Keem.
what I'm referring
Get
to.
out. Get the fuck out of my house. This is my stream, my house.
For all you BBW lovers out there, if she can keep this type of energy like that in the bedroom, I can understand the appeal. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. Like I said, we don't discriminate over here. We regulate. So, like, if she can keep that type of energy in the bedroom, I can understand it. If she has that type of aggression and whatnot and anger, I can kind of see it. I can. I'm not saying that it's that appealing because her voice is, it's a little too whiny for me. It's a little too whiny for me, to be honest with you. But if she can keep that energy, I can see the appeal.
You don't even earn your fucking 50% anymore. So if you don't like being talked to without respect, then try having some fucking respect for your #1 female entertainer. Fuck off. It's mine. You got to talk for an hour and a half. It's my turn now. Goodbye. Jesus
I love how round 1 puts the phone the phone slamming in there. It's fantastic.
Christ. You're welcome for a fucking entertaining show, by the way. You're welcome for waking people up, by the way.
Fucking kick me over and over again.
I will kick you as many times as I need to. You had no problem kicking me. Apparently that's allowed around here. So goodbye. Let him end the fucking stream. He could also end my employment while he does it if that's what he wants to do. Are you going to keep swinging your dick around, Keem, or can you let me run my fucking show the same way I let you run yours?
Damn. Like, hey, Keem, I guess she's saying that she wants to be on top now. I guess that's what she's trying to say. I don't know. I'm not sure how to really interpret that. Woo! Wild stuff.
I just want you to acknowledge that you'll stop with the threats and fuck the LCU and all that shit, because you can't do that.
I would love for you to stop misrepresenting me. How about that?
Yo, and I think about it, Keem. I just thought about this. I mean, well, I said this earlier on with the Rastov thing, but now I'm really wondering, you know, what if Keem was to tell everybody, hey, if you're going to be part of the LCU, you need to get 2 small tattoos. Brands, if you will, but let's go with tattoos because that sounds better. You have to get one of the LOLCOW Live brand, right? And you guys have to, whether either the picture itself or just LCU on like your wrist or some shit. And then you guys have to get a brand or a tattoo of whatever show you guys are affiliated with. Could be a small one, like say it could be on the wrist or some shit like that. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be the actual picture logo, if you will. I wonder if Keem would actually do that, because I'm telling you, if he can get Rastov to do it, he's going to eventually get everybody else. And most of them are older anyway, so it's not like they have anything to care about. So, and most of them, if not all of them, are hypocrites anyway. So who gives a shit? I wonder if that's what going to be. I wonder if that's what the plan's going to be. I honestly wonder if that's what the plan's going to be.
But you never will. You never will.
You acknowledged that I didn't misrepresent you.
Even after I fucking left, he kept saying I wasn't taking accountability. He kept letting Boogie say it. Everybody can fucking say it so he could stir up the audience and manipulate their emotions. No wonder he likes Rastov. He's the fucking manipulator too, except now Keem doesn't have to suck his own dicks anymore. Rastov can fucking do it. Jesus Christ.
God damn.
Keem, guess what? If you can't handle me talking shit back, don't fucking use me for your content. Because if you want content, you're gonna get it, bitch. This isn't March anymore. In March, the LCU was on an upward trajectory.
Which is true. This is where people are saying that the LCU is going to decline, or it's in a decline, and they're not sure if it's going to make it throughout the year.
Now, shit's going down. It has been going down. So maybe instead of treating people like me like shit, you should be thanking us. How about that? Bald-headed bitch. Keem, I'm telling you, don't come back and fuck with my...
Now, here's my thing. As the employer, as this person who signs these people's checks, even though it's alleged that there have been people there who've been there for months and haven't been paid, allegedly, and semantics. But as the boss, how are you going to let this person talk to you like that unless she has something over you? Like, you know what I'm saying? I understand how critical her position is, so to speak. But god damn, Keem. You wouldn't let Brentley talk to you like that? Or maybe you would. I mean, her voice is deeper than Becky's, but whatever. But the point is, you wouldn't. I don't think you would let Brentley talk to you like that in public. I don't think Brentley would even talk to you like that in public. I just don't think she'd see the point of embarrassing herself or you. But you don't have a problem letting this chick do it? Ugh. Oh. But here, let's go back to what she said about the LCU in general, about how the money is starting to lighten up a little bit over there. People's pockets, at least the ones who are getting paid anyway, some of their pockets are getting lit up.
You can't...
Or lightening up, I should say.
Handle me talking shit back. Don't fucking use me for your content. Because if you want content, you're gonna get it, bitch. This isn't March anymore. In March, the LCU was on an upward trajectory. Now, shit's going down. It has...
Now, with that being said, let me cut it. That leads to another theory that I have that's actually shared by a few people, that LOLCOW Fat Camp, or whatever, LCU Fat Camp, was supposed to be... It was supposed to be a giant crucible as it pertains to the people who could show up, build up a lot of content, give everybody a bunch of exposure and whatnot, and just kind of show them in a group type manner, right? It's supposed to really communicate that, hey, we are a family, we are a community. This is what you guys are paying for. This is what you guys are buying into, so on and so forth. And then that's why the merch really got pushed over there at that time too, and so on and so forth. But because of the situation with Wings and Kelly, and because of some of the other behind the scenes fights that were going on with some of the females, and then some of the other weird ass accusations or allegations that are being made, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's damaged the brand far more than anything. I think maybe if they did wait a couple weeks before they actually did Fat Camp, or did it a couple weeks later than what they did, it may have been better off. Now, that doesn't mean that everything that Wings, for example, said in his complaints, is true or should be given a whole lot of merit, but I think it should also be taken into consideration that they didn't do themselves any favors. It showed a lot of glaring weaknesses that goes on, not just amongst the LCU as a brand and the show structure and everything else, the environment, but the people there. These are not really stable people. I doubt any of them are really even good people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess you could be a good person and still be a piece of shit, or be an asshole at the very least. But, like, you know what I'm saying? I think it exposed so much more of their faults and shortcomings than actually being endearing to the audience itself. Something about it.
Been going down, so maybe instead of treating people like me like shit, you should be thanking us. How about that? Bald-headed bitch. Keem, I'm telling you, don't come back and fuck with my show. You want to talk all your shit, do it tomorrow. Apparently that's how it fucking goes around here. Now it's my time to talk shit. Because that's how it's done around here, isn't it?
You know what's funny? Test 4x their numbers, okay? Nerds like 10x their numbers in this same...
I mean, nerds really had really small numbers, though. They've always been kind of a really weak show, so the fact that they've gotten themselves a bit of buzz, I mean, it's a good thing, don't be wrong, but let's look at the demographic over there first. Like, when he's talking about, hey, they have times 4 their show numbers. When this place right here is times 4 or times 10 their show numbers, or even memberships, so on and so forth. Look at where they were at, and then look at where they're at now, and you can kind of understand why. These were some of the weaker shows, if you will.
Time. Queens has stayed the same, but I guess that's Keemstar fault, not the fucking host of the show. You just tattle on yourself that you're a straight line, that you're
Goodbye, Keem. I'm sorry, we have a whole show's worth of content to cover, and it doesn't involve
you want the fucking show to grow.
Am I allowed to talk on? Oh, Keem kicked me out before.
Damn, I can't say
Welcome back.
And you a redirect of 5,000 viewers, a redirect for 5,000. Why do you keep asking what I'm doing for Queens? You know,
the redirect doesn't matter anymore.
Can we just take some acceptability, accountability?
I
That there's
took
been a lot of ups and downs on this show.
I took
caused by
accountability
you
about 5
quitting and
times
Fat
today.
Camp. That was only, let me talk. That was only back at the end of March. So the beginning of April. It's going to take time to build your show back up, but you're part of the reason why this show is not,
And
has
guess
not
what?
like,
You know who's built it back up? Tina's built it back up. I've built it back up. Mike's built it back up. Have you helped build it back up, Keem, or are you tearing it down even as we fucking speak?
no, I still redirect 5,000 viewers to your
your
show.
fucking redirect. We get the same numbers one way or another.
Now, that's an interesting point, because she's theoretically right. You getting a redirect of 5,000 people is all well and good if whoever you're redirecting the show to can keep it and can build upon that the following show and the following show and the following show, because these guys stream like damn near every day. So you're only as good as your last show. You know what I'm saying? So like all Keem is doing is just using his audience to prop up other shows. But if people aren't sticking around, then what good is that redirect? You know what I'm saying? And after a while, you can only have so much codependency until you need to stand on your own too. Let's use that being said, for example, hypothetically, in this, just as the first time around. Let's say, that being said, when they do their show, whatever days that they decide to do it, they redirect to, I don't know, whoever it is that goes on that show that they're cool with and whatnot and streams on a regular basis. So let's say they move their 2,000 plus to whoever it is, the next person who's streaming. And then they just kind of keep doing it, so on and so forth. That redirect, from that being said, that first month or two is going to be great. You know what I'm saying? They're giving exposure to other streams and whatnot. That'll help give more exposure, build their audiences up, so on and so forth. It won't mean anything after a while if those other shows can't build off of that or can't even keep the people who are in the redirect. It doesn't mean anything. You see what I'm saying? And this is just hypothetically. I don't even know if they even do that. But I'm just saying. That's where Keem doesn't see it. He looks at it as, hey, I'm pushing 5,000 people to you. You know what I'm saying? Pay homage. Well, yet again, if that show that you're redirecting them to, if 2,500 people dip out, right? Or if, let's say 4,000 people stick around, but only 100 people may throw a membership or whatever, how, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much is that really worth? If there isn't continuing support or viewership the week after that, the week after that, the week after that, then what good is it? You giving a redirect is a short-term solution to what's going to be a long-term problem, right? If you need to keep redirecting people to shows for people to remember that show's even there, that needs support or needs viewership or whatever, then it's not worth anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's why these guys needing to build themselves organically is important. At the same time, because Keem is dead set on everybody trying to be successful, even though that's just not how the world works, he shifts people's time frames around too. So, okay, LOLCOW Queens was usually in the evening and they had a strong audience all on their own. Well, let's move them around. Let's move LOLCOW Queens to a weaker time slot. Let's move Nerds, for example, to Queen's time slot, send them the redirect and see what happens. Well, if they're not holding that audience, then it doesn't matter. And then the people who were watching Nerds in their original time slot, now they're thrown out of whack because it's 3 or 4 times earlier than it should be. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that Keem should have taken into consideration. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why, for example, you have so many overlaps in like the DSP, the Tragic community, as it pertains to streaming, right? Because people, if people were on a schedule, if you will, like it was back in like the Internet Bloodsport days, you're going to have problems and conflicts, right? Like, for example, most of these shows on LOLCOW go about 90 minutes to 2 hours. Well, for a detractor can fill up 2 hours easy. That's light work. You know what I'm saying? So now, if everybody was on a schedule, someone goes over, people are going to be pissed. You know what I mean? And whatever. That's the reason why that the whole scheduling nonsense amongst detractors is not a thing. No one would even consider it, I wouldn't think. It's a stupid thing to do anyway. Just let people stream wherever they stream and they can just bounce around. It's easier that way. If LOLCOW Live had that type of freedom, I think it would make it easier for some of those shows with the weaker viewership at times anyway. But not everything's going to appeal to everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can't just shoehorn everybody into a fucking mold and expect it to come out the way you want. But that's just me.
It doesn't matter for
so
any
you
of
mean
the
to tell
shows
me
anymore.
you need to tell me if you and Tina were to go create Queens outside of the LCU before you were ever here, let's say you
That's
just did
not
it
what
on
I'm
your own.
saying. That's not what I'm saying. You earned your 50% back in December, back in January. What have you done to earn it in May?
I sent you 5,000 viewers at the end
You
of my
also
show.
changed our
Would you
time
like to
slot.
go somewhere else?
No, actually, no.
No.
You're wrong because we started out May at fucking
You
6
want Queens at 10
I
a.m.?
would like to finish what I'm saying the same way I gave you that respect on your show, Keem. In May, we were sending
Tina,
you
she's making me move your show to
Okay,
10
you're not
a.m.
letting me talk. He's not letting me talk. In May, we were sending you the redirect, Keem. We sent you the redirect, and guess what? We never fucked it up.
10 a.m.
You want to punish us? Go ahead, keep punishing us. You're not going to have an employee to
No
punish for much
redirect.
longer. Put me wherever the fuck you want, Keem. I
You're
actually do
telling
my
me
fucking
you
job.
do not value my redirect. That's what you're saying.
I'm telling you, objective fact. The
Let's
only
do
person,
Queens
excuse
behind
me,
Cafe.
are you going to let me
Right after
fucking
Cafe.
talk? Are you going to let me fucking talk on my
Cafe is the morning, is that morning show I was telling you guys about earlier. I just couldn't think of the name of it at the time.
show,
Tina
Keem?
pretend to do shit.
Do you or do you not appreciate my redirect?
I do.
Appreciate it the same way I
There we
appreciate.
go. There we go.
Good God, he's more of an attention whore than fucking Roxy is. The entire
You mean Roxy, whose husband was sick? Holy shit! Let's bring that back. Let me just make sure I have it all in context.
Are you gonna let me fucking talk on my show,
Tina
Keem?
pretend to do shit.
Do you or do you not appreciate my redirect?
I do.
Appreciate it the same way I
There we
appreciate.
go. There we go.
Good God, he's more of an attention whore than fucking Roxy is.
Here's the thing that wow, she did say Roxy. Oh wow, that's unfortunate because, like I said, that chick almost lost her husband. Keep in mind about the redirect too. In the grand scheme of things, right? It helps the whole ecosystem. So it's not like he's just doing her a solid and that's it. It helps everybody. They all redirect to each other. Most of them stumble and fall and bump their motherfucking head. But for the most part, they all do it. That's kind of the point. That's why every show is scheduled pretty much after the next.
The entire
And I honestly think, interestingly enough, I honestly think Keem does that because he was trying to cut into some of these like troll communities too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if there was like a continuous stream of shows that talk about LOLCOWs or talk about different tech news or whatever, there'd be something for everybody. And if there is a redirect, you more than likely will stick around because you really don't have to go anywhere because the show will just bounce to the next show either which way. And I think he did that to try to undercut detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, not just amongst DSP detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, but I think everybody. I think he wanted to cut into that overall troll market, but yet again, because it is niche, it's niche, small community type shit, he'll never be able to do it, not in the way that he thinks. You know what I mean? He realizes there's a lot of money that circulates in these communities, right? But if he can't cut into the time slots, because everybody posts whenever the fuck they feel like it. You know what I mean? Like you can't stop that. Like you just having a stream going on all day for 12, 14 hours, whatever the fuck it is, doesn't beat individual content or individual people who stream their own stuff specifically to whatever their LOLCOW or eccentric person of choices. He's never been able to break into that market. And I don't think he's going to, unless he has a show specifically to go after LOLCOWs as a whole. Like, okay, like let me outline this for you really quickly. So you have 2 people, even 3 people on a show. Each one of them picks a LOLCOW, and then that's what they present every day. Okay, this is what DSP did. This is what Wings did. This is what Boss Man Jack did. Maybe the next day, hey, this is what Cyrax did. Hey, this is what this person did. This is what this person did, and so on and so forth. The problem is you have to have an audience that's already looking for that. And that becomes difficult because every one of those audiences are going to have someone that they can point to and be like, well, if you're talking about DSP stuff, well, I want to get SnortBucks, get Memology, get That Being Said, get Meerkat, get Proper, whoever, get James Lesser. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Just like if you went over there to fucking Chris Chan's community, well, you should guys have this guy over there as a guest. You should have this person as a guest. You have this person as a guest. So it becomes really, really difficult unless you can actually get people to commit to it. You know what I mean? And a show like that can stand on its own as long as these guys can stay in the loop, as well as be able to kind of give people the backstory or the lore, so to speak, to get people invested and whatnot. And more importantly, to ingratiate themselves to those communities directly. And I don't think that's something Keem can do. There's not enough trust. He hasn't built up really any trust to do so. And even if you were willing to take the paycheck from Keem, how does that really benefit you in the long run? Something to think about that.
LOLCOW universe has turned into one giant e-begathon, and I'm sorry.
wonder who started.
Which is true, by the way. That's very true.
I would like to
Who
focus on
started
actual
that? Which
content.
show started that? Which
which
show
show
started the
copied us,
fucking
Keem?
e-bagging?
Which
Are you
team?
fucking kidding me? You have some nerve. What show started the e-bag? Are you
Yeah,
You're
we
right.
started it, and you followed, didn't you?
Yikes. All right, let's bring that back. Let's bring that back, because that is true, but let's bring that back.
Are you gonna let me fucking talk on my show,
He doesn't
Keem?
tend to do
Do
shit.
you or do you not appreciate my redirect?
I do.
Appreciate it the same way I
There we
appreciate.
go. There we go.
Good God, he's more of an attention whore than fucking Roxy is. The entire LOLCOW universe has turned into one giant e-begathon, and I'm sorry.
wonder who started
I would
that.
like to
Who
focus
started
on actual
that?
content.
Which show started that? Which
which
show
show
started the
copied us,
fucking
Keem?
e-bagging?
Which
Are you
team?
fucking kidding me? You have some nerve. What show started the e-bag? Are you
Yeah,
You're
we
right.
started it, and you followed, didn't you? You followed, didn't you, Keem? Don't act like you're above it.
Yeah, because Keem saw the profits that was coming out of it. So that's a very, very true statement. I don't know why Keem even got mad at it. Money's money to him, so I don't see what he's really upset about. Any case, that's the situation with that. Like I said, I think it started off as a work with Rastov being taken advantage of, or he certainly fully wasn't into the situation. And then I think it ended up getting real as it pertains to the profits of money, which is what Keem and Becky bitch about with each other anyway, for the most part. It's almost always comes down to money with those two, to be honest with you. And it's a power struggle that shouldn't even exist. Keem is the owner. Becky is probably not even probably, she is. She's his top earner. If she's not his top earner, she's one of them. And she only has so much control. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be honest. If she leaves the LCU and starts her own shit, they won't bring nearly as much money in, at least not right away. They won't have the sponsorships, the endorsements, the back end money. That stuff wouldn't exist. They would literally be on their own. So Becky does need Keem. On the other side of that coin, I'm sorry, is Keem needs her too. She for whatever reason, to be honest with you. Hold on a second. Let's go ahead and change up. I think you guys need a drink. I think I need a drink too. Yeah, that'll work. But just as the situation with but Keem, even though Keem it's Keem's show, you know what I'm saying? He's the one that's fronting up the money and all the costs. His team is the one that does all the research. They're the ones who have the sponsorships, endorsements, and all that shit. None of that means anything if you don't have a face out there. And I gotta tell you, and I see a lot more of it now. I have a better understanding of it, I think. Becky gives people hate boners, and they're willing to hate watch and even throw money at her to do it, even as much, if not more, than the people who are into BBWs. I can see her appeal, whether you like her or not. I see the appeal of it. You know what I'm saying? I really do. And so with that being said, you can't really make somebody like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? They kind of already have to have it in her, or in them, if you will. And I think that's I think that's why he's kind of hesitant to let her go, and maybe he's willing to let her slide on shit because she brings in the money, whether by hook or by crook, certainly. Because there was a time where they, at least so I heard, they had the most memberships, or they were pretty damn close, and they damn sure were bringing in the most tips or super chats or whatever the case may be. So her and Tina or LOLCOW Queens are tried and true, right? You know what I'm saying? They are tested. At the same time, I think it's time to go scorched earth over there. Like some of those other shows they have, they need to cut that shit loose. I don't know how the morning cafe thing is doing, but having a morning show is probably not a bad idea. LOLCOW, obviously the LOLCOW Live, LOLCOW Queens, Rewind, and then probably cut the rest of your losses. Maybe keep Ozzy. I don't know. I've never watched it, so it is what it is. And then maybe cut your losses. Maybe I think one of the big reasons or one of the big problems is that the LOLCOW or the LCU expanded too fast. They didn't give themselves a chance to really grow and really like flourish, to be honest with you. And that's just Keem being impatient. Well, she has a history of doing that if you follow Keem for any period of time. So there's that. I don't know. That's just my initial thoughts and whatnot. I thought it was an interesting circumstance, which is the reason why I brought it up. But what do you guys think? How do you guys feel, if you feel anything? Yet again, I'll have the link down below to round one. Big ups to them. This was their video, their rendition, I should say. And I'm sure the editor will end up hearing this. If you could put Big Lebrowski down there, and if you could put, I think his name's their name is Hollywood Huggy. They do cuts for LOLCOW Live for those of you who are interested. I'll see if they can have their channels put down there too. Check it out at your leisure. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Snort Report no, fuck it. This has been the Snort Report. This has been DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh, yes! A GTG Network and Productions. For the Snort Report, SnortBucks Coffee Company, and all of our affiliates, associates, and subsidiaries. Big ups to Chio 18, as always. Take care of yourselves, my people. I got to tell you, it's still probably heavily scripted. At least most of that was scripted. And then it turned into something real, or it was a work that turned into a shoot. And I think that's what we were supposed to see with the Wings situation. And it didn't pan out. It just went from 0 to 100 really, really fast. And they're still dealing with the fallout of that. They always will. The truth is, Keem needs Becky and Becky needs Keem. They can't really function without each other. If LOLCOW Queens falls, it won't be long until the rest of the LCU does too. Just my opinion. Anyway, take care of yourselves, my people. Later.